like dead-eyed.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Laney.
Mariano.
Oh, you said your own name.
I know, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Mariano.
And Laney. Anyway, I wish we had a team name so I can just call her that, but we don't have one yet. So guys, please, we're begging. We need a name.
The Home Crew.
The what?
I don't know, it just popped into my head. There's a local handyman crew. They're licensed, they're insured, they're called the Honeydew Crew. That popped in my head when I thought about them. I was like, oh, the Home Crew. I don't know. Again, we can come up with bad ones. We need some good ones.
Yeah, please. So help us out. Anyway, today's episode, we're going to dedicate a couple of minutes to talk about, can I afford this house?
There are questions you have to ask, and that's one of the biggest before you buy a home. Biggest.
Most people don't know how much house that they can afford.
Right.
First thing is they don't speak to a lender and they want to go house shopping. Well, how do you know if you can buy a $200,000 house or a $2 million house? Based on
there's a lot of
many
criteria.
things. So it's
not
just one thing. It's not just your salary. So you can't go by, okay, wow, I make $120,000 a year, so I'm going to go ahead and buy myself a house that's $600,000 because I think I can afford it. Well,
how's your credit?
How's
at the
your
very,
length of
very
income?
Minimum, you need a 620 for your credit.
Yeah.
Your length of employment is huge.
At least 2 years consecutive.
One thing that a lot of people don't realize is when you're in school, say you're getting a bachelor's degree. Mm-hmm. My daughter's a perfect example. She got a bachelor's of science. So she's got that 4 years worth of schooling. She came out of school, went into a position that reflects directly her degree. Mm-hmm. So now she has 6 years worth of employment history because of that 4 years in school. It's really odd how that plays into it. Same thing goes for the military. If you are a security specialist in the military and you come out and you're doing landscaping, you've just lost all that history. But if you're doing security in the military, some sort, come out, IT security. You're still within the same field. You're just in a different department in the same field.
So the length of employment carries through your schooling into your working life.
And other things people tend to forget besides the credit score, because I think a lot of younger people are aware because their parents are more, I know for me, I was on my daughter, like white on rice or salsa on eggs for me. But she's very aware of her credit score. She's very good about paying her bills, about saving. There are some people that are not. And there are some people that just don't think it's that important, but it truly is. Yeah. You also need your down payment and your closing costs. So when it comes to negotiating for a home, I don't know if you know this, but I found this out talking to a lender, helping a homeowner. The buyer is absolutely responsible for all of the down payment. It does not matter what kind of closing costs you get from the seller. If that down payment has to be, it's all figured on the paperwork, on the loan estimate. If that down payment has to be $9,000, that $9,000 has to come from the buyer. It cannot, no portion of it can come from the seller. They can help with the closing costs, which can be just as high.
Right.
So budgeting when it comes to down payment and closing costs is,
it's huge.
Huge.
Budget, save.
10 to 12%. It's better to have more.
It's better to have more and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Or be able to get it.
Or be able to get it in a scramble at the end when you're told the day before you need $9,000, you have $6,000, now you need $3,000 by tomorrow. Where is it going to come from? So save, and I'm trying to preach.
It has to be traceable.
And that's a whole other.
That's a whole other
video.
But it does have to be traceable.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah. If you're young and you're working and you're saving, please don't spend.
No.
Invest.
Don't go buy that brand new car.
Invest. My 24-year-old, I'm trying to get this into his brain, and every other day he's ordering some crap from Amazon. And I'm like, dude, stop ordering shit from Amazon.
You've seen the boxes show up at my house, but I will say my daughter has a phenomenal savings account, and she does these little spurts of spending.
Which is fantastic. My son does not have that.
I wonder if it's a gender thing.
I don't know. He's my
or a
son.
generational thing.
He's my son.
I mean, I like to spend, I'm not going to lie, but I'd rather spend other people's money.
There you have it, folks. There's Laney.
There are a few other things to take into consideration, like when you bought your house.
Yep.
You know, you had to consider a growing family, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Neighborhood, because with kids, where you go to school is very important.
Yeah.
For me, it was very different. I only have one kid, and she's graduated college. So I needed to make sure that home that we moved into was not too large, too overwhelming for me in the future. So when she moves out, I will have 2 empty bedrooms, but I have a lot of family from out of state that come to visit. So it gives me more options when it comes to who can come, when they can come, and overlapping, and the air mattresses stay in the garage. That's what I'm saying. So think about what you need in the future.
Yeah, so don't overbuy size-wise, because eventually things start to
But don't
get
underbuy
smaller.
either.
But don't
So if you
underbuy. So don't buy a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, but don't buy
I can't find one of those.
maybe a condo.
Maybe. Oh yeah. I was forgetting about
one
those.
condo, you know, something like that. But you don't also need a 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom
For 3 people.
for 3 people. Like my son wants, 8 bedrooms, and I'm like, okay, well, there's 4 of us here. My first question is, who the hell is going to clean that?
And that's my thought exactly.
It's not who's going to pay for that, because I don't care about the paying part.
That can be figured out.
That can be figured out.
Who's cleaning it?
Who's going to clean all that?
No.
Don't overbuy.
I've got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. That's enough.
Plenty. That's plenty. The robot vacuum that's sitting there on the floor, Mother's Day gift. That's awesome. But if you have 8 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, that thing is not going to do it.
Crashing before it gets through all of them.
Not
Unless
happening.
you have different hubs around the house. So don't buy for what you need.
Yes.
And a little bit in the future. Most people on average, I think they said, at least in our area, Tampa area, people stay in their homes 5 to 8 years, depending on the neighborhood they're in. There are some neighborhoods, like yours, people move into specifically for the schools.
Yes.
When their kids are graduating high school, they're moving out.
Yep.
And other families can move in and their kids can take the benefit of those schools.
Agreed.
So just be cognizant of where you're going, what you need. If you have teenagers in high school, you're staying within that school district, no doubt, because if you were anything like me, you were going to throw the biggest fit if your parents moved you out of your high school your senior year.
That's a whole other video.
Renting for a year is an option if you're in that kind of predicament.
Yeah.
But just don't buy a house too big, don't buy a house too small. If you're a young family, 2 small kids, can you imagine having another and you only have a 3-bedroom home?
I'm not imagining having another one.
You're not you, and just in general.
Shop's closed. Anyway, on that note, we're going to end this video.
Yes.
So, Laney,
Mariano.
like, subscribe, the bell, and most importantly, we need a name. Please help us.